Okay guys, Sean here, and today we are going to talk about the abolition of the warlord system and its repercussions on the world of One Piece. We are still analyzing One Piece chapter 956, and this is part 2 of the analysis. Like I said, I believe this part in itself requires a separate video on its own. So ever since we were introduced to the One Piece story, we were told that there were three balancing powers: the warlords, who allied to the marines, and obviously the Yonko. And an alliance between the warlord and the marines enabled the navy to have an equal stance against the Yonko. An example would be when Whitebeard decided to invade Marineford. The Shishibukai, who were allied to the Marines, had to step in and help the Marines in this time of need. Now, with the events unfolding at the referee, it is obvious now that most of these pirates are now wanted criminals. Like Boggy said, there were no consultations made and it was decided with a unanimous vote. That therefore means that as soon as the referee was concluded, it was clear that these guys became pirates. Now, amongst all of the warlords, two notably were those who actually caused this mess, and those were Crocodile and Doflamingo, since they used their powers to invade and usurp power from the country rulers. The consequence of this was the dissatisfaction with this system by the kings, and they proposed the abolition together with Fujitora, who was also against this, and he obviously ended up in achieving his goal. Now, with the warlords out of the game, I believe the marines are in a weaker stance. Certainly, an admiral could fight 1v1 against a Yonko, but obviously the Yonko would come out on top of the battle. It would be a difficult one, but I still believe that the Yonko would defeat the admiral. Certainly, if we go 2v1, that is two admirals versus the Yonko, I believe the Yonko will be on the wrong end of the battle and would obviously lose. But the advantage the Yonko have in the world of One Piece is not only the manpower, but also the influence on a group of islands, and that in itself enables them not only to have things like weaponry. In the case of Kaido, we know that he actually is trading through Orochi with CP0. That therefore means that not only do they have influence, but they also trade with the world government. So the world government would not want to directly offend those they are trading with. Now, with the warlords out of the game, the Yonko seem superior to the marines at this point. I believe Kobe made it very clear in this chapter that the marines are having their hands full right now because they are actually hunting down the Shishibukai. In the case of Mihawk, I believe you need at the very least an admiral character to fight against Mihawk, and even still, I don't think that the admiral might win this battle because we have never seen Mihawk go all out, but he was able to fight against Shanks 1v1, so that therefore puts him on a top tier scale. So it is going to be very difficult to fight against Mihawk. In the case of Boa Hancock, we know that she is extremely strong. I believe she's also one of those characters we haven't seen the full potential yet, and that means that you need vice admirals to take care of her, or an admiral. Certainly, one has to remember that not only is Hancock strong, but the Amazonesses are obviously very strong and skilled at using haki. So it's going to be a very difficult task for the Marines to not only fight against these ladies, but also defeat them in familiar terrain for these ladies. So I don't think that they are going to succeed in capturing the ladies. I believe they might flee Amazon Lily, but where to? Then there's also the fact now that Weevil is surrounded by Navy soldiers. Obviously, I think Weevil would easily be able to defeat most of the soldiers, but as Kizaru said, he obviously gushed his power to be that of a young white Whitebeard, so I'm not going to be surprised if Kizaru is dispatched to take care of Weevil. In any case, I still believe that Weevil has unsettled business with Luffy as well as Blackbeard, so I think that Weevil will not get captured. In the case of Mihawk as well, he won't get captured. Buggy already made mention of the fact that he's going to, escape, so that's already 3. And like I previously said, I don't believe Hancock is getting captured. So to be honest, I feel like the Shishibukai will all escape, but the repercussions on the world will be that they might end up having to do what they did not want to do. Someone like Buggy might end up having to invade an island which he never wanted to invade and obviously use it as base of operations, but since they need to go incognito, I believe it's going to be beneficial ultimately to the kingdoms of the world of One Piece. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Do you guys believe that the abolition of the warlord system was the best outcome and that the warlords were really useless to the point where they actually need to be hunted down? Now subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, especially if you believe that the content was worthwhile, and as always people, I will see you guys real soon.